Hello. So I'm going to do this fitting thing about the balsamic moon. And the reason why I'm doing it is because it's kind of weird, there's a box on my screen. Is because, yeah, wow, it's not even sunny. I shared a video about astrology and yoga, and I felt like I wasn't really, I felt like I wasn't totally I was being myself, but I feel like there's more to share about something. And I wanted to do it about the balsamic moon. And I also wanted to say and explain why it's balsamic. But I also wanted to say that it's really interesting teaching yoga. I feel a bit like I don't want to teach you. I feel like I'm not really a massive conformist, and I really struggle with doing things regularly and reliably and ordered, and this is the way. I like to be quite erratic and kind of shifty. And I find it really interesting that I've gone into why am I so bright? It's so weird and annoying. I've I found it really odd that I've gone into doing so weird. I find it really odd that I've gone into I'm just going to record it like this. It's quite funny. So I find it funny that I've gone into doing yoga. Excuse me. That's quite odd. I'm having astrology transit, which is all about the throat. So when I started speaking in the yoga I actually taught last night, I actually started coughing and felt like I wasn't going to be able to speak. And I think that's sort of what I want to talk about is there's this real point of can I speak? Do I have the right to speak? And even whatever it is we're doing, and I kind of, I don't really, it's like, why am I on this path of teaching yoga or doing astrology or doing social media for various things that I do, and just why am I doing stuff that's in the limelight? Why am I shining like a light bulb right now? It's just so odd. It's not sunny outside, the sun's obviously there, but there's clouds. And my favourite weather is when it's really rainy and cloudy, and I love that huddling thing. So I feel quite at home in it, but weirdly shining on the screen. So it's really hard to come into the limelight because I am just shit scared of being wrong, of being of doing something terrible, and that kind of brings us to this whole concept of condemnation, and there's so much to say, but I think what I would like to say in this video is that my personal experience is rooted in a lot of alone time. As a child, I was very much a loner, and I liked it. And then when I I had a really strong spiritual conscious experience, and felt really connected to consciousness, cosmos. And then when I went to university, I started joining faith groups, and it was Christian faith groups, and became a Christian, and practicing Christian, and then I have this personality that's really driven and wants to go like the radical extra mile. So I decided I wanted to be a missionary to like the furthest country where it's the toughest space, where people are really underprivileged and really need support, humanitarian support, and also faith uplifting, and where there's lots of evil. And I just wanted to go there, and seriously, and I'd have visions about stuff like that. I then was very passionate about working for anti-trafficking organisations, went and did a bit in Europe, and then wrote my final dissertation at university for my degree on European laws around preventing sex trafficking and prostitution, like protective measures for prostitution and things like that. So I think when like there's a lot kind of saying I'm trying to get across here, but it's this sense of you want to express who you are, but you have such a radical spirit, and it doesn't fit into a box, and you're also really afraid of being labelled as something really bad, and I think or being really fundamental and on the sidelines. And I came out of this time of being very, very strongly evangelical about what I don't know, kind of, I guess, but more just I knew that people judged me as their own way, or I judged them, and whatever. And there were things that I couldn't get my head around, like sex. I couldn't get my head around the Christian understanding of sex because it gave me so much shame. And lots of personal things about that, but it was really tough for me to like meet those many edges, and so coming out of that more frame of mind, and I kind of had to leave that frame of mind for my own well-being, really. Started to expand more, and then I realized, now I'm afraid of being labeled as a sinner, I don't know, and then I started to connect to as a witch, and I sort of was very naturally drawn to esoteric principles. That's why I was in very mystic Christian circles, because I could have experiences with the divine, with God, that would be like really wacky and quite psychedelic, and I just have them, it was just I loved it, and it was quite natural, and that was that. And so when I was sort of drawn to really kind of sort of spirit multidimensional, I'm like opening and connecting. I've gone back more into my color, connecting to the multidimensional sphere, through whether you might call it New Age or like ancient tribal connections or whatever, but like shamanic, and really connecting to that, and then you feel judged for that, and then you start to develop interest in astrology, and so many personal things that were hugely shifting and controversial to me were going on over a few years, and I then came across astrology, and I was this in-between phase between trying to fit into society because I was so afraid of being labelled as something. So I got a job. I tried, me and my partner rented a house in an affluent town near London. We're going to do this commuting thing. We're going to do life. We're going to try and keep all of our spiritual aspects hidden. And, like, let's just do that privately, and let's just try and do the normal life. And a very kind of dualistic way of trying to just, keep ourselves safe, keep ourselves normal, keep ourselves anchored, and then that just creates like a split in a way of your personality, because you can't fully show up. And that I realized is something that's just generational. That's like, if you believe in karma, I know it works in me. I really feel the karmic lineage to witches, to ancient spaces, to other stuff, and some of it you're connecting to collective, to humanity's dream, what we've created over many thousands of years, and beyond humans. It's soul level, it's interdimensional level, and but like. So I realize I'm at this point where I want to bring more of me, and I'm still compartmentalizing, so I'm sort of like, I'm doing this yoga thing, and this is yoga, and I'm like, this is what yoga is, and I'm painting the picture around yoga, but then I realize that I don't really want it to be just, I want it to be beyond, I want it to be unique, I want it to be my gift of spirit to bless humanity, and with humanity, like we're all in it equally together. And I want that, and I don't want it to be about Kundalini yoga or astrology or whatever it's about. I don't want it to have a label, and I sort of, and I realize, it's labeling. I don't want it to be labeled, and so that brings me to the balsamic moon, which is it's the moon at the end of the cycle. So if you track the moon, the moon goes around 28 days around the Earth, and I was going to say around the sun, and then it comes to the end of the cycle. This is the way my mind works. I'm not a very linear mind. It's going everywhere, but this is truly how my mind works, and I find it really hard to concentrate because I'm like, this and then this and blah, blah. But anyway, I'm learning, it's a refining process, and doing it naturally rather than having this like teacher, you must be this, which is what we get trained in as a child, and we get that. And now we're learning how to do it gently and softly, and accepting that it's okay. It's okay if you can't concentrate, if your mind is, and now we have things like autism and like all these labels, dyslexia and like attention deficit and blah, blah, blah. And all these things are very related, I feel, and probably we all have a little bit of it. Anyway, so and I feel that's because we're opening the mind, and we're starting to see beyond the small frame, and it kind of is frying a bit, and we're sort of adapting, and that's my take on it, because I didn't use, well, maybe I did. So I was saying the balsamic moon is at the end of the cycle, and it's an important moon position, as they all are, and I feel, I'm born at that space, so I kind of space holder for that with all the other people who are, and it's the very, very end. It's the dark moon, the waning moon, end of the cycle, but the balsamic is like really the end point of that, and I happen to be born like a few hours, 6 hours or so from the new moon, so it's a real like point, and that, if you're conscious of that, and if you're, when there's that cycle happening, and that day before the new moon, or those few hours, I always feel like, I tend to feel in a really creative zone because that's my birth space, but the energy you can feel is slow end point. It's kind of scary as well. You can't see the moon. It's like the hag, the witch, the crone, dark, the void, the weird. And I realized that I can't unweird myself. I make a video or whatever, do a picture, and I feel like I look like a bit weird, and I'm like, let me just lighten the colors or put a flashy thing, and it just never avoids that. So I'm just, okay, maybe I'll just embrace that end of cycle thing. It's not shining, it's like, well, now it is, but like it's shining something different. It's shining into the dark. It's shining into the void, the limbo. It feels very shamanic, the in-between worlds. What do you do in the in-between worlds? You hang out. You transition. That's it. That's the energy of it. And then it just explains, in that space why it can be so hard to to be about producing something or whatever, because it's all actually about letting go. And I'm saying that because I feel like, you know, this is the piece that I'm bringing through my physical body in this space now, is, you know, it's letting go. And how can we let go more and more as part of the cycle? All of us holding different pieces. Yeah, you know, and so my piece is the letting go of the end and embracing all of the emotions that come at the end, all of the pain, all of the anxiety, all of the darkness, all of the duality, or just being like a pot and having it all come to you. So yeah, most of the time I feel like everything is a complete mess, because everything is just coming together like that, and I don't really know where I'm going or what I'm doing. But it's all that process of shift and change. And so I guess I wanted to share that, because really the idea of it is to just show the messy part of the tapestry, to turn it over and be like, this is it, guys, you know, this is the mess. And that's kind of how I feel about, you know, I'm creating stuff, I'm doing things slowly but surely. I just want to undo it all the time and be like, this is this, but this is this, and constantly unravel everything and be like, yeah, this is the mess, this is the intention, this is how I don't want it to be, this is, because that's who I am. And I want to flip it. So yeah, I want to flip it. Pop it. Thanks for watching. Hope this has been good, and yeah, so I would love to hear your thoughts if you're in a similar sort of mindset, or not in a similar mindset, whatever. Yeah, I just wanted to share also that me and a friend, a really good friend, are connecting to make some astrology based podcasts together, and a podcast or whatever video, I don't really know how we're going to do it, but and share some musings. And also this friend and another great friend of mine are going to do a collaborative yoga experience. So it's all, I guess it could change, but I just wanted to say it if you're watching, because it's exciting to share the co-creative endeavors, and we hope to develop and expand more and more and going into the future. And I just want to create a co-creative platform that's about many people sharing and creating something together, and then the vision expands, and then you create space, and maybe, you know, who knows, but we definitely can't continue the way the sort of society we run. I feel that many of us don't fit into it, no matter what generation. We're all similar minded, and it doesn't work when you start to let go of the kind of capitalistic kind of stuff. It's really hard to take care of the earth and take care of one another based on that kind of mentality, I feel. And I want to go to a community-based way of living with the land. So yeah. Okay, love to you. Bye.